This video is sponsored by Primate Pool Tools. Use promo code POOLPROS2020 to get $15 off.
What's so famous about me?
You're like famous.
I just call and annoy a lot of people.
Dude, everybody knows who Chris Love is. I hear your name going everywhere.
You know, it's something weird, man. I didn't...
Stay in front of the mic, man.
Sorry, is this better?
If you want to lean back like that and bring your mic
keep
there.
controlling it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. This is my comfort zone.
Yeah, are you on frame? You're framing the cameras?
Oh,
yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
Solid, man. Dude, this is a serious setup. I remember when I came in here and you just had that big... You had that thing on the wall, and you had a bunch of chemicals in that corner, and there was no turf on this wall. And you had tile samples over here. It was just...
Yeah, the rig. Actually, that wasn't there. I had those shelving unit set up right here.
Oh, yeah, and the rig that I bought from you was right here.
Right here.
Yeah, right here.
The one you stole from me, rather?
Hey, man, I just figured it out. Don't hate.
There wasn't much negotiation. I was like, I think I'll take this price. And you're like, I'll pay that money.
Mm-hmm.
So how the hell did you become famous after a year?
Like I said, man, called a lot of people. Literally, I started out calling every single pool truck that passed me. Everybody's got their magnet stickers, their wraps, whatever they want on it. I called every single guy. So my first 6 months, I guess I'll rewind, took a small loan out, bought a used rig, Ingersoll Rand compressor, all that jazz.
Before you even get to that point, a lot of people get into this industry cleaning pools, servicing pools, putting a small route together.
Gotcha.
You said, bust that.
Yeah, I tried it briefly, had a partner, and yeah, we just didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. So I wanted to reinvest. I wanted to get bigger fast, and I saw tile cleaning is a great option. Margins were great. I knew I could figure it out, and he didn't want to throw, 10, 15 grand up against the wall, and I did. So we did away with the pools, essentially lost all the customers, and got out of the whole repair and service side. And I just hit the road real hard with tile cleaning. Started calling everybody after I bought the first rig, and that was it.
Doing the tile yourself.
Everything.
So when you and I met, when you bought that rig from me, how long were you cleaning tile for at that point?
Probably a solid year and a half.
And just yourself cleaning tile, just banging out as many jobs as possible.
I hired Mike. You remember Little Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably working for me for about 3 months at that point. And then I had trained him up. He felt comfortable, but we were tag teaming every job. So we would get 3 to 5 done a day off of that one rig.
So you're moving tile or moving jobs pretty quickly.
Uh-huh.
When I met you, you had that enclosed and the
Big red one.
It was falling apart.
Yeah, the floors, man, there was a hole in the roof. The floors started rotting out because they're all wood. I hadn't even since I bought it, I never serviced the compressor. I threw some new fluid in there. I don't know much about motors or compressors for that matter. It was running, starts making a noise, tighten up the belt, just figure it out. So I pretty much ran that into the ground.
We met through Nick.
New Image.
Yep. He made mention about a tile rig. I just so happened to be selling my rig. I think he found out. Excuse me. He suggested, I don't know how that happened, but we didn't meet. We met here at the shop on the first night that you looked at the compressor.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I never heard of Chris Love or Love Your Pool. How long were you into the industry there? A year?
Probably about a year.
About a year.
Yeah.
Didn't hear anything about the name Chris Love.
I had reached out to you briefly, and I saw one of your guys at SCP once and talked to him about tile cleaning, gave him a card.
You and I talked before you came to my house?
No,
Okay.
One of your guys.
Okay.
Big, goofy guy. I don't know who it was. Tall guy, kind of a goober.
They're all
Yeah.
tall.
But I gave him a card, talked to him, and then found out he wasn't the boss. And then I was talking to you on Instagram. And then that's kind of how it all came to. And we found out we both knew Nick. You were kind of doing the whole, looking into remodel and doing that jazz. And that's how it came about.
So now I hear your name everywhere. What the hell did you do in a year?
That's good, man.
We don't even hang out anymore because you're all big time.
Yeah, that, and I'm married.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that does it.
You were married when we met, too.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like you had a kid.
No, none yet, man. My babies are the trailers.
So what changed, though? Tell me. What changed? Because we talked a little bit about price sheets. You know, we spitball some ideas back and forth. You remember the price sheet?
Yeah.
We were talking about it. You actually put it together. I've made mention that to people before. You're the first one that actually put one together, and then you just started peddling the shit out of it. How did you blow up?
It worked, man. I started pushing that to a lot of the service guys who didn't do all their own repairs. I was shocked by that, man, that there's so many service guys that don't do any of their own repairs.
Got to stay in front of this mic, man. You got too much good information not to.
This is a good zone right here.
Yeah, right there.
So I started figuring out that there's a ton of service guys out there that obviously, like you said, got in with a pole, some chems, a Tacoma, and just hit the road. They didn't figure out how to do repairs. When I started kind of, I guess, ass backwards, if you will. I started in repairs because the guy that I knew, he worked at a Leslie's Pro Shop part-time doing repairs. And he's like, hey, man, this could be a side hustle. We can make some money. I was working remotely from home. I had some downtime. I'm like, cool, dude, let's do it. So started doing repairs, then got into cleaning, and then developed this list and realized there's a lot of other guys out there who only skim pools. That's it. So I was like, dude, start passing this list around. I'll do this sand change for this much, plumb in this filter for this much, pull a light for this much. And it just caught. And then that really opened the door for tile cleaning, remodeling, tile installation, removal, deck work now. It just kind of blew up. Go ahead.
That sheet that you had, there was like 50 things on that sheet and the price. How much did you stick to that? Did you ever find yourself like, hey, I'll do a sand filter exchange for, that was one of the things we talked about specifically was the price on a sand filter swap. So you're going to put in a cartridge, but you're removing a sand filter. How well did you stick to that list?
Pretty good. Granted, the way that I always approached every guy was, hey, man, I'm not greedy. I'm here to help you. So I know my margins are good enough that if you get in a pinch on a job, you shoot yourself in the foot on a bid, and I'm not talking multiple, but if that happens, I'm willing to work with you. Keep sending me business. If I got to take a hit on this one, get me back on the next one. It's just kind of building these relationships with all these pool guys to the point where it's like essentially like a small brotherhood, man. I feel like we're almost a fraternity almost. I was never in a fraternity. I don't know what it's like, but it's like I'd sit down and have a beer with you any day of the week. Mike from Catalina, Sage, I mean, any of these guys.
Yeah. So you never complained about, you never walked into the backyard and was like, hey, you know, there's a wall here. I got to lift this filter over. So I need to charge you and your customer a little bit more. You just got in there and freaking did it.
Yeah. You just
no bitching, no complaining, just get it done.
Lay in the ground, man. Lay in the ground rules and just, I mean, if it was crazy, like tile cleans, I'm sure you've probably ran into before where you go back there and you could take a measuring tape to the calcium coming off of it. And you're like, dude, come on. Like, I'm not doing this for $275. Like, this is going to be a little bit more. They understand. I discuss it with the homeowner and just kind of go from there.
So a lot of people know you in tile cleaning, but that price sheet had a lot more than just tile cleaning. Were you doing a lot of that type of work? Were you doing a lot of repairs off of that?
That's where Andrew really came into play. So I cherry picked him from a home warranty company. I'll never forget it, man. I was coming back from the airport, still had my full-time day job, and I was getting calls like crazy for repairs. And I'm like, dude, I got to drop this day job and go full speed ahead and just do this. And the guy giving me a ride back, my Uber driver, was Andrew's buddy who he worked with at an unnamed company doing warranty repairs. And he heard my conversation. I was like frustrated on the phone with like Mike or somebody dropped the ball. And he was like, hey man, not to, step over any boundaries, but we do side jobs too. Like my buddy and I'm not available, but you should hit up my buddy Andrew. So I hit up Andrew. Kid was on time, looked good, communicated well, had a truck, just boom, dude, grabbed it, crushed it. And he started doing side jobs for me for probably like 6 to 8 months. And that's where the repair side just kept flowing, man. I'd focus on tile cleans. I'd focus on tile cleans and some deck work. And he would just handle the rest. I'd just send him an address, put his parts, filters, everything on will call, and he would do the rest.
Same thing, no complaining, just no bullshit, get it done, and
Yep.
let's move on to the next one.
Paid him per job. And then it turned into a point where I'm like, dude, I can keep you busy full time, man. I can pay you better than this company. I'm a lot cooler. I'm easier to work for.
A lot cooler.
Like, dude, I can hook you up, man. You know, you get your lunch every day, drinks, whatever you need, company card, and just go with it, man.
So you're straightforward. Hey, you want to come work for me? I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
you're not pussyfooting around.
No, I just, yeah, trust him, man. Give him some responsibility, and Andrew's killed it. Absolutely killed it, man. He keeps growing, super efficient. He's a thinker, though, where it's like he doesn't. My one thing that I always said was, like, I can't hire a guy. Like, his real test is if you can't figure out how to get into a backyard because you can't figure out how to open that gate, you're not going to make it. You just can't make it, man.
Just straight up tell them what's up.
Yep.
No sugarcoat, no nothing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Good.
Yeah.
So you got this price sheet. How are you approaching these businesses? Because you're not a direct to consumer. You don't do a lot. Now you're the other business that you got going on, the remodeling, maybe a little different. But as far as tile cleaning or repair, the end consumer is not your customer. Your customer is not the pool owner.
Sometimes, but I'd say 90% is pool guys.
So you're just out there to help the pool guy.
Yep.
And so when did you realize that that's what you wanted to do? Wanted to go at it at that angle?
I just realized it was a niche. You know, you look at marketing and spending money on Yelp, Google AdWords, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Gets expensive. And I was like, well, there's all these pool guys. I guarantee 90% of these guys don't own their own tile rig. It's just a niche. So that opened the door. They saw everything else we could do. Didn't try to be everything to everyone, but the things we were really good at, I would push those. Like, hey, if you need help with, God, what's a good example? Like a filter install or clipping their suction line, putting in a new 3-way Jandy or something. Andrew could handle a tile clean and that, or I'd be cleaning the tile and he'd be plumbing at the same job that we're at, or pulling a light. So they all just kind of work together, man. And I pushed this list to guys after I was already in the door. So like I'd start out with tile cleaning because that was really niche. Everybody who's calling them can't do that. And then I started to open it up a little bit more. Like, hey, we also do this. Hey, we also do this. And I've just turned into this like go-to where, to be honest, I mean, a lot of times I'm not even doing most of the work. Andrew's not even doing most of the work. I've just found enough quality subs that still give me a good enough price with the amount of work I send them that it's like, it just win-win. I make money, they make money, everybody makes money. It's a good job. Homeowner's happy.
You don't seem like the type of person that was concerned to knock on the door or make that phone call or Google somebody. How were you? I mean, pool service technicians have our information out there because we want our customers to reach it. So it was pretty easy for you just to look up a company or multiple companies and just start going down the list.
Yep.
Were you strategic with it? Or, hey, I only want to talk to the big guys. Were you just calling anybody and everything? You said you drive down the street, see a truck, and call that guy.
Yeah. Shotgun approach at first, for sure. Every single truck I passed, every single company I saw that had pool or, you know, whatever related on the side, I'd call them. Then I started going down, I don't know if it was legal, but I had some buddies at a local Leslie's shop, and I was like, who are the guys that come here the most? Like, and they're, oh yeah, we have this list of, you know, we send out the text saying, hey, it's pro day, blah, 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 you get a discount. So I was like, let me snap a picture of those phone numbers. So I went down
What's
the list.
that?
So I know these guys are buying a lot and they frequent the store. They're in my area and I'm just going to call every single one of them. So I just kind of shoot the shit with them. And before you know it, it's like, hey, you're cool. You're cool. You're cool. You're kind of lame. I'm not going to work with you. Or they don't want to work with me.
And you're all right with that?
Oh, totally.
Dude, you're writing your own ticket.
Yeah. So that was it. I could double the business. I guarantee it within 6 months if I just started doing it again. But I'm scaling it. I got to hire another guy.
So it's still just you and Andrew?
Me, Andrew, Mark's essentially like a silent partner. We take a lot of his overflow. I subbed a job out to Sage. I just don't trust many people with tile cleaning. It's intricate, man. One mistake is going to cost us $2,000 instead of making $300, $400. Yeah. So, I mean, Mike knew how to shoot tile. He was pretty good at it, but then, he had a fun Friday night and, what happened from there.
And it's all over. Damn young kids, dude.
Yeah. But
just can't figure it out.
Yeah, I got to get another guy, man. I got to get another one. I have a part-time guy who has his own company working for me right now too. Great, solid dude. So we started a chase truck where Andrew will blast and Cody comes in and just chases the jobs. So like he'll show up right as Andrew's finishing up and he'll start cleaning, help him pack up the rig, and Andrew takes off while Cody's dropping a low pro pump, rinsing the decks, blowing everything off, buttoning up the main drains, and Andrew's already blasting on the next job. So he just chases him throughout the day. And that's been really helpful because that's taken me out of the equation. So we have him Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But now it's just time to find another guy because we got that other rig that's ready to get going.
And you're still paying per job or a salary or?
Andrew's on salary plus he gets bonuses. So every tile clean he finishes, I give him $20 to $25 extra. So it's pretty good at the end of the day if he bangs out, 3-4 tile cleans by himself on top of
$100 of his.
Exactly.
Okay.
And if it's a big one, I mean, I'm not stingy, man. If he bangs out some massive glass tile clean, I'll throw him an extra $200 just for that one job.
Awesome.
Because our margins are great. And if we do it efficiently, that's fine, man. I want to keep him happy. It's hard work. It's a lot of work. You know that.
Yeah. Are you still doing the repairs or?
Yeah.
So you're still busting out a bunch of repairs?
Yep. So just like a lot of guys from AZ Pool Techs utilize like Manny Gordillo, and he did a lot for us. He just gets so busy though too, man. And scheduling's really important for me, like communication with the homeowner, being punctual. And it's like, he's plumbing in these badass, huge custom pools. And it's like, sometimes, you don't know how long that's going to take. And I totally get it, man. Totally get it. It happens with us with tile cleans where you show up and the pool guy's like, yeah, pool's not that big. And I show up, it's like 400 linear feet with a negative edge. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, man? This is going to take me like 8 hours. Yeah. So recently we got a almost full-time plumber essentially on my payroll, but not quite. I feed him enough work between me and like one or two other guys that we pretty much have him going almost nonstop. So he does a complete equipment setups for us, moves equipment, trenching, everything, punching dedicated vac lines, all that stuff. So yeah, we're still doing it all day, every day.
Still, you do have a small route, don't you?
Yeah, I don't like to tell too many people that I do because I just don't want to come across as, if anybody ever thought I was cutthroat. There's so many guys out here where it's like, yeah, I'll go skim this pool for you while you're sick. And then, you hear these stories like, oh yeah, this dude just stole 10 customers from me. I would never, ever, ever want anybody to think that about me. I'm a straight shooter. I'm honest. If I can help you, I will. But we have, I don't know, about 40 pools probably.
So it's better. You're saying you'd rather let the pool guys know, hey, I don't even touch pools.
Yeah.
I only touch 40 because it's a different situation, a different circumstance. But you're able to say, hey, man, that's not my gig. I don't service pools. I don't need your pool. I'm not going to steal your pool.
Yep, exactly. Because people ask that all the time, like new tile clean customers. That'll honestly, there's a few guys that are real skeptical. Like, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. They've probably just been burned in the past, or they've had buddies who've been burned. Like a buddy of mine, Mike from Way Cool Pools. I just started doing a lot of work with him, and that was one of the first things he asked me. But I was driving down the 60, and he called me, and he's like, hey, man, you called me the other week. I got a tile clean for you. I just want to, like, kind of pick your brain about a few things first. Like, how do you bill? Do you talk to my customer? Do you service pools too? And I was like, listen, man, I'm on the 60. Where's this job? I'll come meet you right now. So I go over there, I meet him, shake hands with him, give him an eye to eye, and just say, hey, man, listen, I'm here to clean tile and handle anything on like the remodel side, repairs if you need it. But I will forever in a day never, ever, ever steal your customer. It is what it is, man.
I'm on the opposite end. I'm like, hey, it's over there. Just let yourself back there. He's going to bring you cash and a beer.
Yeah.
But I totally understand that. And that's actually, I've never looked at it that way, that, yeah, we don't really do service. I just want to take care of the needs of your customers' pools that you don't provide. Let me be that guy.
And that's really why we don't do a lot of direct billing too, where a homeowner will ask me all the time, like, hey, so how much do I owe you for this job? And I'm like, oh, Mike handles everything. I just show up and do the job. He'll bill you for everything at the end, and you don't have to worry about paying twice.
Or whoever the pool guy is.
Yep.
Your pool guy will take care of you.
Yep.
You got to have quite the Rolodex of pool service technicians sitting in your iPhone.
A lot.
You know, a lot of pool guys out there.
Yeah, a lot, man. It's a small, big industry, if you will. We got so many pools out here, man, and there's not enough good guys to service them, too, where, you know, I'll only refer out very few. Like, I mean, I know I've sent you a few pools. I'll send Catalina a few pools, Redmond some pools, but, you know, it's pretty tight-ish. You know who does good work.
Are you taking on more work than you could handle?
Recently, since I started doing the chase truck, and now I have the plumber and my service tech, obviously I never get a call from a customer, which is nice. He just handles it, buys the stuff that he needs from Cloud, and just do it, man. I don't want to get phone calls. Recently, we're still, I mean, like I said, I need another guy, but I'm still managing. I'm not dropping the ball on anything.
Because the biggest problem with tile cleanings in the past that I have experienced is, hey, my tile clean says he's going to be here Tuesday, and then they don't show up till Thursday. They don't even tell us that they're not going to make it there Tuesday, and they don't tell us that they're coming Thursday. They just walk in the backyard. I'm going to be there Wednesday at noon, maybe 1 o'clock, and I'll be there. And I just told you about the job on Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
And you get it done.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying that you do great work, so you got to be doing it that way for everybody.
Yeah.
Just getting it done. No bullshit.
No, dude. What you see is what you get. What I tell you you're going to get is what you get. If there's any issues, I mean, do we all drop the ball sometimes? But if there are issues, I will come back and address it. I'm not going to say, oh, sorry, dude. You already paid me. Customer already paid you. See you later. Perfect example. Did I tell you about that customer that we did? She had a glass tile pool, all 1x1 glass tile. Cheap Chinese made. They tiled the whole pool. Probably $75,000 surface installed. Huge spa, everything. Didn't drain the pool for like 8 or 9 years. And from what I've come to understand, talking to the reps at NPT and the manufacturer, is that there's a frost factor with tile. So pool tile, everybody always wonders, like, can you go to Floor and Decor and buy your pool tile? Like, I saw this badass pool tile on clearance here. I want to do this. Yes, but you really do have to consider, has it been frost tested? Our temps this winter have gotten into the 20s. So if there's water that's fluctuating on that surface, evaporating or not, you know, as the pool runs, it kind of brushes up and it freezes over on the surface of that tile. If that tile's not frost tested, it'll start to fracture. Or if it's a big custom backyard in Gilbert and the soil's real expansive and your coping's moving, the shell's moving a little bit, that tile line, the grout joints can give, tile can start to fracture, the thin set backer will give out. And this, so long story short, we went to shoot this lady's tile and I pointed out to her, hey, you see all this cracked tile all over this spillway from the spot of the pool. She's on the phone on and off. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I see it. I'm like, all right, well, that's probably going to be everywhere on your tile line. Like, you can literally reach over with your fingernail and pull it off. So we show up a month later after this meeting that I had with her to point that out with the pool guy who subbed us out, and we shoot it. Comes out beautiful. Obviously, there's fractures everywhere, all over the waterline tile and below and above, places that we didn't even touch. She comes out. Oh, it looks amazing, blah, blah, blah. We're cleaning it up. This is the day before Thanksgiving, and I'm sitting down at dinner with my wife, and I start getting phone calls. I'm like, oh, my God. Okay. So I pick up the phone. It's her. She's asking me to hold the check because I destroyed all of her pool tile. Like, her pool's a disaster. This was my baby. It's destroyed. I'm like, did she not pay attention to the conversation that we had, you know, previously where I spent 20 minutes, met her a month before the job even started, and pointed out, this is all damaged. And she didn't. So long story short, I went back on that job. This is where I'm kind of getting to it. And I refunded her. It was what was it? I don't know what the pool guy charged. I gave her a check out of my pocket for $500 to put towards her pool remodel to cut out that waterline tile. So essentially it was a wash for us. I didn't make a dime on that job, but it covered our expenses for Max Strip to shoot the glass tile and my employee's wage. But even though it was a sub to a sub job, I had no problem going back, because even though she was, I'm going to say it, she was in the wrong. I pointed it out. I didn't have her sign a waiver. I still had no problem going back and saying, hey, this $500 to you, if it's going to make things right, which it did, put her at ease. She was distraught, man. I've never had a customer this upset before, but that made it right. So it's money, man. It comes and goes. Just hustle a little harder the next week and get it back.
So even though this is the pool guy's customer, you still had the direct contact and rectified the situation.
Yeah.
Just to get out from underneath it.
Yeah, it took a little bit. We went back out probably about a 2 weeks later, maybe a week later, and I agreed to meet with her, and I kind of went above and beyond and contacted Max Strip and had them print me out essentially like a quality sheet saying, yes, this is safe to use on glass tile. She went and started calling the glass bead manufacturers, thinking that I shot her tile with glass bead.
She's just trying to get something for free or what?
Dude, I mean, just for the sake of this being online, man, I don't want to get too in depth into it, but it was her baby. Like, she had always wanted a beautiful pool, and she designed it herself, picked out the tile herself. So I didn't know that getting into it, that she was so emotionally connected to this pool. And I was so caught off guard, man. Usually I can read customers pretty well, but this one blindsided me really hard. And I knew for a fact if the ROC came out there and looked at it, they wouldn't make me redo her whole pool. I had tons of before pictures, tons of after pictures, all the discussions with the pool guy about it. So a lot of proof covering my ass, but it was an interesting situation. But yeah, she was happy with it. I don't know. The pool guy said she still hasn't filled the pool back up.
What?
I don't know.
Is that bad to have a tile pool that's empty like that?
Honestly, I think that if you leave it empty for a long time, all your grout joints, I think expansion and contraction from like grout being wet to dry, it's going to start to kind of erode away, which it already had the issue. We've seen it a lot. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now? What are you trying to do?
My day-to-day,
or rule the world? I understand you do a lot in the remodeling world, which you're doing a lot in the remodeling world. Yeah,
man. It's right now just trying to figure out if we want to, get the ROC to build. I think that's kind of a weird realm to be in, though. I see Nick and those guys do it, and he's so bombarded. I mean, he tells me, all the time when I talk to him, he's like, dude, I can't even get out to these bids. I have this, project going. This one's 150K. This one's 100 Gs, 200 Gs, because they're doing pavers, turf, plants, everything, grading, building cabanas, all that crazy stuff. But I don't know, man. I'm not greedy, and I want to just keep a sweet spot. And I think I found it with tile cleaning, and that's going to still grow. I want to get a rig in Tucson, maybe a rig in Maricopa. Mark and I have been talking about it. And just try to automate that side of it. If we can get some quality workers, we're going to have to pay them well, like probably $20, $25 an hour, and just have them run the show. Like, hey, if you can bang out 3 pools a day on your own, I'll pay you $25 an hour. No questions asked. But if we can automate that and have, say, 6 rigs going total, no issues, obviously, if you're here and there, then I'd probably really focus more onto, pushing the remodeling more, decks more, all that. Because it just falls in my lap. That stuff is just, I don't go looking for it. It's just where I started, man, with that list where it's like, hey, I can do X, Y, and Z for you, and I do it well. And now I figured out how to do, you know, A, B, and C now. So we're kind of starting over on a different platform, a little bit more knowledge involved, risk involved, higher ticket items, but not much can go wrong that would end up causing us, you know, to close the doors at the company or anything like that. That's kind of what's holding me back from really wanting to enter in that, like, the build realm. That's a whole different animal.
Are you experiencing any issues like this lady?
With remodels?
Yeah.
Yeah, they come up totally, man. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you know firsthand.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, that was a fun
I didn't
one.
even try to go onto that because of that. It just ended up. I was like, yeah,
no,
fuck.
man, that yeah, it happens, man. But it's one of those things where it goes right back to your subs that you're using. Everybody out here, at least this is my belief, outside of maybe California Pool and Spa and, you know, a few of these really big box companies that in-house a lot, I'd say them 80%, maybe more, are all subcontractors. You have guys out there like a guy that I've used before where he said that he was doing 400 surfaces in a year. Back in the boom when Shasta and Paddock and everybody was doing, he said they were doing 4 pools a day at some points. Like, crazy, dude.
So we're not where we used to be. The industry isn't where it was back then.
I don't know.
As far as, yeah, I guess so. I wonder if we're busier now or if we were busier then.
I feel like now we're not just throwing holes in the ground and slapping some rebar and shotcrete in there. I feel like now we're recorrecting a lot of those issues like that you see. Like, we do tons of roll beam conversion, man, where we're shaving it off, throwing a tile line in there with some coping and a nice facial travertine piece underneath. But then now everybody's moving into like the more modern look, like rectangle pools with a negative edge spa and travertine everywhere with some turf. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
How much of the work are you actually doing yourself?
last week I shot, what did I shoot? Probably 5 pools myself. Maybe 6. I can't remember. We did a bunch last week, whole bunch last week, like 4 a day. So at that point, Andrew's spread thin. Like, Cody's still working, cleaning his pools during the day. So I have him Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm taking the other rig out and I'm cleaning too. So just to keep up with it.
How do you structure all this work?
Like, scale it?
No, not scale it. How do you schedule it and understand who's doing that tile, who's doing this tile, who's doing this job? Then you got to go here. How are you putting all this, orchestrating all this?
It's all shooting from the hip, man. Not even kidding, because some of these tile cleans last longer than others. So, like, that's why I did it last week. I sent Andrew out to do these jobs, and they were way up north, like Cave Creek, Rio Verde, North Scottsdale, Paradise Valley. And I just watched my watch, and I'm like, okay, he hasn't finished the first one yet, and it's already coming up on 10, and we got 3 more. There's no way that he's going to finish the last 2. Guarantee it, because the last one's in Queen Creek. So I saddle up, send calls to voicemail, get back to him at the end of the day, and I'll go do the 2 in Southeast Valley. And then just tell him, hey, don't sweat it. Focus on these. Do a good job. I got these last 2 covered. So that's where my next guy comes into play, where I can just have him cleaning for Andrew, rolling with Andrew. But then if there's days that he needs to go solo and they both divide and conquer, they can.
You obviously have to put that phone on voicemail when you're shooting tile. You get out of the pool, there's 20 voicemails.
I answer a lot when I'm shooting.
I have heard you answer my phone call while you're shooting. Hey,
Hey, I'm shooting some pool tile, man. What's going on? Yeah.
oh, that is awesome.
All the time.
Are people waiting for your services?
Like, waiting for me to get back to him?
Sometimes the phone rings here with the office.
Uh-huh.
We miss it. They leave a voicemail. We want service. Come service my pool. Within an hour, we call them back. Oh, I already got it taken care of. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't even sweat it. They're so.
Do you see that? Are they waiting for you though?
Yeah, because I'm still kind of in this little niche realm. I mean, unless it's like service, I'll get calls, and I don't care. Yeah, like I said, I don't care about service, man. I care about my customers that we service. Yeah, we do a great job, but I don't care about missing a service phone call. And them, like me calling back in an hour and they're like, oh, sorry, I already found another dude for $75 a month. I'm like, cool, see you later. You know.
What about on tile cleaning? So tile cleaning, hey, my name is Joe. I want to do a tile cleaning with you. I heard you were great. Call me back. When you call them back, you're pretty much getting that job.
Yeah, there was one that happened recently that happened to be my neighbor, which was kind of funny because I bid his pool 2 years ago when I still had the big red rig, the enclosed one.
Yeah.
I went over there and measured it out. It was like 110 linear, and I was giving him a smoking deal. It was like $315 with the water in the pool. We'll vac it out. Or I forgot, or I included a drain, whatever. And he's like, oh, my God, the last guy charged me like $125. I'm like, what? And then he goes, oh, yeah, he was hurting for business, and it was a side job and this and that. And I'm like, dude, no, like this is a smoking deal. So I just told him whatever. So this same guy called me, followed me to my new house because I moved down in the neighborhood, and knocked on my door. I saw him on the cameras, and then left a sticker on my garage door and left me a voicemail. This is when we were out of town for my wife's birthday. So I call him back like 3 days later when I get back because we're on, I have service again. And he's like, oh, no, I ended up going with another guy. Like, looks like pool business must be pretty good, though. That front yard looks pretty nice. And I'm like this cheap-ass dude just busting my balls again, man, where I'm like...
Did he know it was you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he's chasing you down again for another bid.
Yeah.
And then got upset because he couldn't get a hold of you.
Yep.
And then gave you shit.
Yep. And then gave me shit about hustling.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I work my ass off, man. Don't even come at me like that.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, all this up here, I worked my ass off for it, this last 2 years.
What was he going to do? Offer you another $20 to come shoot you?
I know. I wouldn't shot in the first place because that's the kind of customer, too, where it's like, you finish, and then he's like, I think you missed that grout line right there underneath the waterfall. If you get on your knees and
the sun's just right.
Yeah, no. That's the guys you don't want to work for.
No shortage of work. No worries. I mean, are you worried as far as having to pay your tax or anything like that? I mean, you're just out there full steam ahead. Everything's working out. We just need to work and kick ass and move forward. Yeah,
I think what I've learned over the last few years, you might be able to agree with me here, is you really got to take a hit sometimes to grow, where it's like, yeah, you're going to backtrack. Like, if we're netting this much a month, but we have this much work, you're going to have to hire a guy, net this much now, but your capacity increases, and you just keep speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. As long as you continue moving forward, you're okay. But yeah, we're good, man. I mean, the way I look at it, and I talked to a buddy of mine from Corona, California. He's on Instagram, Gabe from Pool Rehab. He does a ton of tile cleans, badass rigs, all rotary screw compressors on like Mercedes Sprinter vans, super legit. I hope to be like Gabe one day when I grow up. And I was talking to him, and I'm like, well, he started in like the recession. And he was like, you know what, man, if it hits again, I'll sell off some stuff and I'll just be out there doing it myself again. And I'll still be netting, $1,000+ a day. I'll still be good. But I think it really just boils down to how hard do you want to hustle, man? Adapt and overcome. If that happens, sell off my pool route, consolidate, just have Andrew and I. Honestly, I'd love to just stick with Andrew and I, but the phone just keeps ringing, man.
No advertising. You're not pushing your services, or are you? Are you pushing your services anymore?
No, like we just kind of talked about briefly for the last like 3 months, and I totally forgot that I was even paying for it. My buddy Joseph called me. He's some exec over at Yelp, and he's like, hey man, I can get you a free $125. And I'm like, free money. Okay, cool. But you got to spend this much, and we'll spread it out over the next few months. So I was like, whatever, dude, let's do it. Let's see if it works. So, yeah, I've been getting, I don't know, probably 10 calls a month from Yelp, which is fairly good. It takes one of them to pay for the campaign. I think I'm paying like, I don't know, $550 a month or something. So that's it though. No, never, ever advertised. That is literally the second time. And the first time was Yelp too. Brief, like $100 a month.
How many new pool guys are coming across your desk every day or every week or month? Are you getting new pool guys hitting you up? Hey, can you do some work for me? Or is it just
a handful?
The group of pool guys that are consistently just throwing you stuff?
That's really what I honed in on. Was like I have some real big fish that know how to sell it, and they like to parlay it in with like their drains, their acid washes, their tile cleans. So stuck with them and take care of them.
Talk to me about the shitty pool guy that you don't want to work for. What's that look like?
It's a good question, man. Nobody's ever asked me that.
So what are the signs that you look for that say, hey, I don't really want to work with that type of pool guy?
Where they're busting my balls over a quarter a foot, where they're like, oh, well, my other dude does it for $225 a foot. You can't do it for $250. Like, no. Plus I have a minimum. So at the end of the day, I'm not showing up for less than, X number of dollars. Those are the kind of guys, because those are the kind of guys at the end of the day that also aren't going to pay you for 2 weeks. They're also going to have the customers that are super cheap, which are also the customers that nitpick the most, at least in my experience, where the cheaper they are, the pickier they are. And they'll be the ones to say, oh, well, you missed this grout line, or, this and that. And I see a little bit of media out in the street, and it's like, yeah, well, when we pulled the hopper up onto the trailer, about a quarter size of super fine media fell out on the ground. I'm sorry. I'll come back and vacuum it up.
I heard one of the main things that a lot of guys like about you is your cleanup.
Yeah, big time. I heard it a bunch last week, the week before, especially since I launched the chase truck. It's crazy, man. And yeah, I love hearing that, because that's like really what separated us a lot too. We pull the main drains. We drop a low profile sump pump in there that literally, if you look at it, I got it in my truck, I'll show it. You need one of these. And
is that the Superior one everyone's talking about?
Hell no. No, man. Those Superior pumps are garbage, man.
Harbor Freight?
Nope.
Green?
Nope.
What the hell is it?
It's some weird Dutch name company. It was, I'm not going to tell everybody about it because this guy told me not to, but
all right. God, it's so many freaking secrets.
It's, so when we put a new pebble surface in, guy comes and acid washes it. I always pay the guy to polish it. So he'll get like this Brillo pad and attach it to like a weed whacker.
Yeah, I've seen
it
that.
done.
Yeah.
Just makes it nice and smooth. This is the pump that he uses, and he's been here since PebbleTech came over from Australia, and he did all their startups. So this dude's been doing it for like, I don't know, 20-something years. And he let me take a picture of it. I got it. But it's the pump that PebbleTech, this is what he told me, that PebbleTech had manufactured for their company so that it can sit as low as it can inside a drain, 100% stainless steel, and it just eats right through leaves, eats through everything.
Because that sucks when you're at an acid wash or tile clean and you got 3 inches of water that you just can't get out. So you're shutting the pump down, filling it back up, trying to push everything to the center, kick it on, and hopefully that you could push enough of that shit up there. Yeah,
it's tough. But the good thing with this one too is it primes right up, man. Like instantly primes right up. But with this one too, we rarely have to shop back. Obviously, as you know, some pool builders, the Shotcrete guys, screw up, and it's like you have your main drains here, and the lowest part of the pool's like right here, and you're like, what the hell happened here? Yeah. You know? So the pools though, where they're pitched correctly to the main drains, you can pop that main drain, put it in there, rinse every ounce of media to it, and not have to shop back a thing.
No shit.
Swear to God.
And when did you realize that the cleanup was probably even more important than getting the calcium off the tile?
When I first got into the industry, and right before I bought that red trailer, buddy John Wilcox Pools, been around a long time. Guy's a stud, man. Still cleans his own tile, does all of his own repairs. He'll punch dedicated vac lines, everything. Guy's a beast. He told me a story about him cleaning tile with glass bead, and he goes, make sure you clean up really well, because he had an elderly customer. He cleaned her tile. She's probably like 75, 80, came outside, slipped on the glass bead on the deck and broke her hip. And he was like, dude, I could get sued for this. That could be a big hit. And ever since then, I mean, we started out cleaning well. And then after that, you know, it's just, I started hearing all the pool guys like, dude, my guy showed up to acid wash, and we always stagger it to acid wash after because the last company left so much shit in the pool. And I'm like, yeah, no, man, that sucker's spotless. You know, granted, yeah, mistakes happen. We may have a little bit here and there, but it's going to be cleaner than every other company out there.
I remember going to a job that one of the guys cleaned prior to you being in the industry. His name's out there. I won't say it.
Starts with an S.
All right.
Ends with an S.
And it was some black media.
Copper slag.
I have no idea what it was, but he's the only one that I've seen do it. But there was shit everywhere. And my customer brought me out there, and he's like, is this okay?
Was it in Gold Canyon?
No, it was in Gilbert.
Oh, okay.
And I should have hosed this stuff off, but I was like, yeah, you're good. I didn't even, we weren't selling a lot of tile cleans and all that. And I really didn't I was young, but looking back, it was like that shit was everywhere. Yeah. I could feel it on my shoes when I was, and he must have just like sprayed the pool off a piece.
Yeah. That actually stains Pebble too. Yeah, I showed up to a job. I know who you're talking about. We won't mention any names, but I showed up to a job in Gold Canyon to help him. His rig went down, and just blasted a spa for him, and it was all in the pool. And the pool guy who I ended up doing work for, because he ended up coming onto the job and asking who I was, and he's like, "What is all this crap?" I'm like, "It's not mine." So he ended up starting using me, and that ended up staining that customer's pool, their Pebble. Yeah. Copper slag, super cheap. Essentially, you're blasting with metal. Yeah, it's like the byproduct of when refining copper, I think it is. Or, yeah, it's something crazy.
It's just a cheap product.
It's like $7 and some change a bag.
What's
for 50,
max strip?
30. Ooh. 33. Ooh. The 35.
Can you use it and just clean up really, really well? Save money?
The copper slag?
Yeah.
That'll eat tile up too, man.
Just burns through it?
Oh, yeah, dude. It's angular too.
So what's happening when you burn through tile? Have you ever burned tile as well?
Totally. Yeah, actually my first job I ever did, it was in my pool at the house that I now live in. During that time when I shot it, it was my neighbor, but now it's mine. And I slightly burned the tile because my buddy John was with me, and he's like, you know, be careful. You got to move pretty quick, blah, blah, blah. We're using glass bead number 10. And it pocks the tile. So if you imagined like honeycomb essentially, but a much more condensed version, it just puts little bead holes in it, and it just essentially removes or indents the ceramic right there. Yeah, it was crazy.
You've been on a few jobs for me, my pools, behind my techs, that have burned tile.
Right, like that one over in Gilbert.
Yeah, poor pool. There's a dude out there servicing that pool. He went in. It was a homeowner's deal, and I don't fault the pool guy at all, but the homeowner decided to go with this guy because he had a wetsuit, so he could do the light with the wetsuit rather than what my tech suggested to drain the pool to fix the light.
Right.
So he got the service account, and I'm fine with that. But how is it hard to service or take care of the tile after it's been burned like that?
Yeah, it clings more. The calcium clings to it more. Essentially, it's just like prepping a surface for paint. You know what I mean? Where it's like you sand it, rough it up before you put a permanent coat of something on there, whether it's enamel, whatever it is. Same kind of thing. It works its way in. It's harder to clean. Then the baked glaze on the tile has already been damaged and compromised. So then it's like whatever media you hit it with after that, depending on how hard the first guy did, you could be ripping it up, man. It's not protected anymore. Yeah, I know Sage was actually talking to me out front about it. He was like, well, how do you tell, if walking into a job, like if this tile's already been damaged. Because I was telling him, he was asking me, like, how do you shoot with glass sometimes? Because he only uses max strip. And I'm like, you got to look for pre-existing damage. And you can only shoot matte tile with it. You can't shoot a glossy tile with glass, unless it's glass bead. You can safely do it with glass bead, but you really got to know what you're doing and use the right glass. Don't use number 8. Don't use number 10. Number 12 or finer, number 12 or 13. It's used on like aerospace parts to polish them whenever they blast them before installing them. But you got to look in the grout lines. If the grout's been removed out, you can see all the little notches. And then that's always where guys burn them, because it grout's porous. It's not completely sealed. The tile is. So you can see that the grout's been removed, and they have to sit right there to get it out. And then right on the edges. So like your tile's sitting there, it's right on the edge of the tile. That's where you'll see it. And if it's caked on, get your X-Acto blade or wire brush, scrape it off a little bit, and just look. You'll see all those little pock marks. Take pictures, send to the homeowner, call it a day.
So how is somebody supposed to, I want to get into this industry. I want to be a tile cleaner. Somebody out there watching.
Uh-huh.
Like one of the 4 people that watch this.
I was going to say it, but you said it yourself.
Yeah, one of 4 people. I hope more than 4 people watch it. But
They will after I'm on here.
If they don't, I don't care.
Just kidding.
They want to become a tile cleaner.
You can't half-ass it.
Yeah, but how do I even know how to become a tile cleaner and not mess shit up?
Practice, man.
There are people out there that are really frustrated at the tile cleaners who do a bad job.
Oh, yeah.
But how are the tile cleaners supposed to know? There's not a school. Colleges aren't pumping out highly educated tile cleaners.
Maybe that's my next niche.
There you go. Seriously, how would I know?
Does
that upset you when you come on a job site and see burned up tile?
I expect it. I ask the homeowner. That's one of my first questions. I always ask them if they're there, or if I can talk to the homeowner. I'll always ask them, has it been cleaned before? That's really like probably one of my first questions.
Just to get that out of the way.
Yep, because then that alleviates me completely. Like that just tells me that if there's any damage on this tile, it wasn't me, because I know I didn't do it. And they've already admitted that. Because trust me, man, there's people that you'll shoot their tile and they come home, we're just rinsing down, all the water is evaporated on the tile or the pebble line that we're blasting, and they're like, well, why is it a different color? Why is the top a different color than the bottom? Well, let me bring you over here and show you. Well, the last guy that cleaned your tile, since you told me you got your tile cleaned 3 years ago, and like 2 years before that too, that's from them. That's these little hole marks in it, these little perfect round circles. I don't use that media. And then I show them my media, and it's like pixie dust. It's like so fine. Or I show them max strip, and that's it, man. You got to practice. You got to just find a family or friend's pool or an empty pool that's just a total turd, and just go blast the tile, tear it up. If it plans on being remodeled, go tear it up. Or what we were going to do, we went down this whole road of like, hey, how do you prevent calcium from coming back permanently? Like long term, maybe not permanently, because that's almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And we were building a board and taking blue glossy ceramic tile, 6x6, thin setting them to a board, grouting them, and submerging it on the tile line, and then just let it build up over the next 2 months, and then testing out different media on it, blah, blah, blah. But we were going to try like ceramic coating the tile, like an at-home ceramic coat kit, to see if it was going to keep the surface of the tile like lubricious enough to the point where you could just brush it off when the pool guy comes by. But do that, build a whole freaking tile board, set it on the edge of a pool, and let that stuff build up. Start dumping Cal Hypo and get your pH all over the place and let it build up.
You've helped guys learn how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you welcome them?
Totally, man. I thought about it at first. Actually, you and I talked about this at first, where it's like, dude, there's so many pools out here. There's so much business going around. Like, I mean, if you run into each other on a job, it's few and far between, man. And I think you really set the scale for this, because I was timid at first, where I'm like, I don't know if I want to get on YouTube and teach somebody how to do this, you know? And yeah, I helped. I mean, Bob, Eli, talked to Sage quite a bit about we were just bouncing ideas off each other out front, different types of pumps to use, the way to vac out media. I just feel like there's not enough people doing it to make it that competitive that I'd worry about it.
I've talked to some guys, and even on social media, I'm seeing a lot of people shooting their own tile or becoming tile cleaners.
Yeah.
And you're not feeling any of that.
No.
Because what's the terminology you use? The David Goggins terminology?
Crushing souls.
Crushing souls. How do you crush souls in the pool industry? Whether it be servicing pools, cleaning pool tile, remodeling, how does that look?
Be better than the other guy. Better communication, be punctual, offer a better product. I just sell myself every time I go to a job, man. I like it. It gives me, I like sales, but fast-paced sales. So
I find myself in the same arena as you.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you and I went out, we'd have to find neutral ground, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with doing tile, but I don't want to shame you at your own game. I mean, I can learn it and start putting.
You know what's funny, man? It always takes, I always believe it takes somebody else to help you turn up the heat, though, too. Yeah.
True statement.
I love it, man. So, like, when you told me you were getting back into it, like with Mike, I'm like,
You freaking shiver.
bring it on,
dude.
brother.
Yeah, you
Let's
looked
see
at
it.
it like,
let's see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that needs to happen.
It's healthy. It's healthy competition.
You and I
man.
can go out there and butt heads and grind and fight and get these jobs and try to get numbers over the other guys, and then we can sit down at the end of the night, crack a beer, and have a good time.
Totally.
And I think it needs to be that way.
Totally.
It can't be that kumbaya. Okay, take that one.
Yeah.
Are you out there? You're out there to win.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I played sports my whole life growing up, college ball and all that, and it's like it's just in my guts, man. I don't know, but I can tell you, Mark and I, like Pool Tile Doctor,
Yeah.
we run into each other on jobs so many times. It's not even funny. Where he'll send me a job, and
You bid it.
I bid it. No, like I swear to God, this happens every week. Every other week at the least, and I'll bid it. And then I'll send him a screenshot of me getting an email from the same customer with the same pictures, or from a pool guy getting the same pictures from the same customer saying, hey, how much will you do this for? Literally every week.
I've had that with you.
And
I don't
it's
remember
hilarious.
the particular one, but I've sent you, hey, how much would you do this for? And you're like, I already talked to that.
Sorry, dude, I'm already on it.
Yeah. I'm going to close this.
Yeah,
Tell me how much you do it for, Chris.
yeah.
And then I would sell it for like $3 more just to be at that price point to
Yeah.
close the job.
No, we literally have a job that we're doing this Friday, if rain permits. Same thing, man. Pool guy put me in touch with her. He didn't want anything to do with it. I'll probably just throw him, I don't know, 100, 150 bucks at the end of it. It's glass tile, badass pool, Versailles pattern. Like you get little like 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch tiles, 1 inch by 1/2 inch tiles, and then 1 inch by 1 inch squares. And it's nice tile. She spent a lot of money on this. And let's see, I got the call from the pool guy. I contacted the homeowner, didn't even set foot on the property, and I bid the job at like 750 bucks. And then Mark, 1 week later, sends me a screenshot of it. Hey, man, this lady wants to know what you'll do this for. He's asking for my pricing a square foot. And I go, dude, I literally just sent her that price this last week. I said, this is where I am. And he was sending it to me for me to do the job for him.
Yeah, because he's contracting it out to you because he's busy as shit.
Exactly, because he got his decking ROC. That's how we do a lot of decks. And so we just share work like that, where, you know, he'll do this, I'll do this, but he can't get in the pool and blast a lot anymore because he's doing a lot of commercial decks and all that jazz. But it's just... it was so funny to see that because we were having like she was trying to figure out who would do it the cheapest and the fastest. And she had no idea that we're literally just sitting here and we're like partners behind the scenes, and we're the only two companies that are bidding.
At the end of the day, you're bidder up 20% more than what you were originally bidder at. Did you get the job?
Yeah, I got the job.
You guys did it.
It's happening this Friday.
Okay.
But
so what happens when your car shows up or your truck shows up and she's like, I didn't hire you, I hired the other guy? I'll be like, no, woman, you hired me, remember?
it's just funny, man. It's just funny. We're usually pretty transparent about it though too, where we'll be like, oh, it's funny you reached out to both of us. You know, we're like two of the better ones in the state. So this is where you are. We share a lot of work.
So if there was a tile cleaning competition in the state, you'd enter it and dominate it?
Dude, you know what? I honestly think that it depends on what the scoring is based on. If the scoring was based on speed and accuracy, it'd be me. If it was based on like over the top, meticulous, like where it's just so over the top. Mark is so OCD with his tile cleaning. Like we were doing so you know Barrow's Pizza? Mm-hmm. One of the owners, we were shooting his pool right before winter. And Mark hit me up and he's like, dude, there's a lot of glass tile. Badass backyard, beautiful pool. And nice tile, glass. And we get in, we start shooting it. And dude, I cooked through probably like, I probably did 2/3 of the pool. And he looks back and he's like, what the hell, man? Like, what are you doing different? Like, what's going on? And I just dialed it in where I knew we were shooting glass. I knew we were shooting max strip. I cranked up my pressure and turned up my media, and it was like a 2-year-old pool. The grout's solid. The tile's solid. I'm using max strip. I can blast the hell out of this thing. Like, it's not going to damage anything. So I was just flying through it, dude, and he's like in and out of every single grout line. Oh, you know, go back over here and hit this grout line. And I'm like, dude, Mark, come on, man.
Pick it up.
Dude, get going, bro. But he's right. Like there's, you know, minimal calcium haze and like a few of my grout lines. But I also don't like to sit on grout lines because the more you damage grout lines, the more you create a pathway for water to get behind the tile. And then that's where tile starts falling off. And you see it on spillways all the time. So I don't crush grout lines. I mean, there's no solid calcium in it. But even when the pool's full too, you don't see that ever. And I got no problem telling a homeowner that too. I'm like, I'm saving your tile longer by not destroying your grout line and trying to like dig
Get
in
that
there.
Little bit left.
No, you're not going to see it. You want your tile to last longer? Don't destroy the grout line. That's preserving it, you know?
Does anybody need to get their tile cleaned?
Technically, no.
Technically,
it's cosmetic.
Cosmetic.
Yeah.
And yet you're creating an empire on it.
Not quite an empire, man, but trying to get there.
I thought we were crushing souls, dude. I'm creating an empire.
We are, man.
A pool boy podcast empire.
It depends on how many people watch this shit, man.
Yeah, 4, bro. Let's go. And they've all been on this channel.
Dude, is it so? Where's this thing even going? Is this going
nowhere?
On? No, you can't tell me yet. Is this a secret?
I don't. I'm just
doing
putting shit out. When we're sitting there talking, having this conversation, it's a good conversation.
Yeah,
we get excited.
Speaking of which, can I grab another beer?
Yeah, go grab one. These are the new guys I'm listening to.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work.
Nefex.
Nefex.
Nefex. All their shit's free on YouTube. No copyright, nothing. They're just like, use my video or use my music in anything and everything you can.
Smart.
Yeah. They got this song. Let me look for it, dude. I'm gonna play it. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here I'm screaming, okay, it's a dream. And I pray as a team, one day it'd be me. If I want it, then I get it. So when you talk about crushing souls and shit, I turn this song on and I go, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you at anything, I'm gonna
this
get
song.
It. This song right here. You and I are in a competition.
Sounds pretty feminine.
Yeah. That's what makes it gonna win.
When I'm moving, I'm headed to the top, I'ma do it. I'm headed to the top, I'ma prove it.
I'm gonna do a video.
Girl, I like what
It's
you're
just me
doing.
cleaning pools.
Your body's out of sight when you're moving.
And I'm gonna have this song in the
Just like
background.
my type, so let's do it. You know I'll treat you right, let me prove it.
Send it to all your
Go
customers.
all night. I'm sick of being nothing. All right, I'm gonna be something.
FX, bro.
I'll fight with every breath. Trust
No music
me,
video.
I'ma be the one at the
FX.
top. You can't touch me. I need to find somebody like me.
Not your style of
who wants to
beat?
be something.
I'm just waiting for it to drop.
Does
it get a little crazier?
No, slower.
Yeah, super femme.
Really?
I'm the type of dude who will not remain nameless. I'm the type of dude who is headed for greatness. I'm
No?
the type of dude who could
No, I
really
could dig
make
it. I could dig it,
changes.
man.
I'm the type of
I'm more
dude
like,
that's becoming contagious. I'm the type of dude that
Man,
will
I would probably throw in some corn. That would really get me going.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some real just head banging kind of nasty shit.
I do listen to more feminine music, but I'll still beat your ass.
That's why I'm out there cleaning tile and you're sitting here doing podcasts.
Dude, it's all about longevity. Everybody says it's podcasts and where it's at. You got a podcast.
I agree.
I have done a podcast. Can you do a podcast?
Oh, I'd figure it out.
I'll tell you what. I'll
only
go
took me
clean
a
tile.
year.
You learn how to podcast, and then we'll see.
This is your realm, man. This is your jam. I'm not an office kind of guy. I got to be outdoors.
I like being outdoors, bro.
I know.
Dude, I did so much shit before you even
I know.
entered this arena.
Probably before I was even born. How old are you now?
Not older than you.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Just turned 32, March 1st.
Oh, we're the same age.
Are we really?
I just turned 33, February 25th. So we're right there.
So you're older than me
Yeah. Well, yeah.
by a year.
I got you beat, dude. I got you beat.
You know where I was over your birthday?
No,
Belize.
that's right. Spearfishing.
Dude.
Lies.
Epic.
I didn't see anything on Instagram.
I'll show you right now.
All right, cool.
Check this out, man. This was the most epic trip. Man.
I'm going to go on your Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know if I put it on mine. It's probably on my wife's because she
No,
always
I'm
does
just
that
going to go
stuff.
find something to talk about.
Check this out. These were our guides, dude. This dude, when I wasn't there, so I didn't go on this boat that day. I went on this other boat, and he freaking speared this barracuda. Did you see that thing?
Yeah.
Spearfish. So that, dude, and he said if you miss, they attack you.
Really? That's how I am. Like, if you don't beat me, I'm coming back to get you. So you better beat me.
Look at the teeth on that sucker, man. Zoom in on that picture. Look at that.
They got
That
a
thing's
wine
gonna-
bottle down his throat?
Yeah, that's how big that sucker was.
Damn.
Gnarly. You fish? You hunt? I know you hunt,
I
but
hunt, dude. I just
you don't fish?
drew a crazy Arizona bull tag.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think there was
Good
10,
section?
10 or 15 tags in the unit, and I drew one.
No shit.
Yeah. My uncle's a guy, dude. He's
Right,
such a badass.
Ethan's dad.
Ethan's dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? That's freaking nuts.
Bro, that's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a helicopter and shit.
All right. So, souls, bro. Souls. Do you like the idea? Do you like you said you're not cutthroat. You don't go after other people's accounts because that's not your realm. But how do you find yourself? Because you are a nice guy. People do like you. You got a good name for yourself. So how do you juggle that? Hey, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to kick ass and I'm going to crush souls and not. Are you stepping on anybody? Are you?
Tile cleaning, I don't give a shit. I mean, if I take your tile cleaning business, it's just because I'm doing a better job than you, or I'm selling myself better.
So you'll train them, you'll teach them, you'll have a conversation, have a beer with them, but at the end of the day, I'm going to get that job over you.
Well, I guess the guys that I've trained, I mean, I helped Mike a little bit, but
Mike, my dude?
your dude,
Yeah.
But I mean, Eli, he's out there. I'm super proud of that dude, man.
Is that Phoenix?
Yeah,
Yeah,
PHX
dude.
pools, bro. He has come leaps and bounds from where he was.
That kid's a badass.
I like Eli a lot, man. Like, just seeing him the other day, I had no idea. He, like, got a new truck. He got this trailer wrapped. He's like, damn, dude. Like, okay, at the end of the day, doing that stuff, that's a big investment. And it doesn't mean that, hey, I'm doing this much business. But dude, he's doing it right, man. I remember I sold him my hopper. Like, I bought a hopper to put it on another rig, and I wasn't ready to build that other rig yet, and it was just sitting in my garage. And he came out to train with me on a job way out in Santan Valley. This kid drove from like Glendale to Santan and came to learn. And it was one of the hardest jobs I've ever done too. And he ate it up and then followed me home, helped us clean up and everything, and then bought that hopper off of me, loaded it into the back of his like Smurf blue Toyota Tacoma, like the color of the floor, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I hope this kid crushes it, man.
That
and
Yoda's bad. He had the same compressor that we're using in the back of that truck.
Roll air.
Yeah, he had that in the back of his truck.
He had it mounted in the truck. Yep. Yeah, there were some other guys. Dude, Eli's a savage, man. I love that kid. He's doing well, man. I've helped him out a lot lately.
I watched him on social with that little blue truck. I always thought his logo was badass.
Oh, dude, smart, man.
Yeah.
Like PHX everything, you know? Like that was genius.
And he's got this little truck, and this dude's starting to post things on social. I'm like,
he's killing it.
Yeah, little bro, good.
Dude, yeah, he needs...
And then next time I see him, I think I was following him on Instagram, and then I saw him on Facebook, and I was like, who the hell is this dude?
Rebranded, just like, boom.
Truck, brand new F-150, enclosed trailer, fully wrapped, all this stuff.
Yep. And when I talked to him, he was like telling me about how he was trying to convince his fiance to, hey, we should, put this tile rig together, like spend some money on it. And like finances are tight. They're probably saving for their wedding. And he still works his, serving job at this high end like restaurant. And I'm like, dude, good for him, man.
Yeah.
Good for him. Like we all start somewhere, dude. And he's going to crush it, dude. He's a hustler.
So do you feel like you have a small little team of pool tile cleaners out there?
I could if I wanted. Yeah, for sure.
Well, just buddies. A little club.
For sure. Yeah.
Tile cleaning club. You got to shoot 1,000 linear feet before you enter this club.
Yeah, right. That'd be funny, man.
Yeah.
That'd be funny, dude. Maybe I should. See, I thought about that, like being, because AC Pool Techs, Kyle Morgan, he brought that up to me one time. Like, hey, you should be like the face of this thing, man. Like tile cleaning's your jam. Like you should be like the go-to veteran for this. And dude, I talked to a lot of guys, man. Like Keith Stahl, you've probably seen him too.
I've heard of Keith. Has he
Keith
got the
cleans a
picture
lot.
with him and his wife on the?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I do. No, Keith or Heath? Is there
Keith with a K.
Okay.
Veteran-owned company. I'm pretty sure his last name's Stahl. I just have him in my phone as Keith Pool Tile Cleaning Trailer because I almost bought his trailer off of him a while back. But then he got back into it. But I've helped him quite a bit too. But we just share knowledge, man. They're just a lot of good dudes in this industry, man. Really good dudes in this industry. I love it. I'd never change.
And then you got people like Sage come up and reach out to you. And
yeah, man, he's a stud too. He's a smart dude. Like that guy thinks outside the box. If I could hire Sage, oh my God, man, this would be an empire.
So why can't you hire him? Why can't he work with you and say, hey, look, you're getting I think he gets a lot for his tile cleaning.
Oh yeah, foot. I'm sure he probably charges $4 or $5 a foot. I don't know. I just went for volume more, looking at the numbers where it's like, the numbers, they're insane. So it's like, I'd rather go for the volume, get efficient. But this is always where your brain goes, why don't you just sub
know what it costs a foot, do this, switch here, pull this in, and
you're the numbers mastermind, man. That's outside of my pay grade. I just know how to grind. I'm still figuring it out, man. I'm a young buck in this industry, man. I'm still really fresh. I
cannot believe how far you've come in, what are you, 2.5 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't quit my day job until August.
The hell does that mean?
I had a full-time day job doing outside sales for a manufacturing company.
August this past?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Swear to God.
Selling tile cleaning?
No, selling O-rings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Full-time day job.
Yeah. No, for real though. I was still traveling and doing everything for it.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Did you ever get that website put together?
Oh, for the O-rings?
Yeah.
Well, I did that a while back.
Okay.
I had an Amazon storefront doing it. Yeah.
So what does your future look like? We're going to wrap this up. What does your future look like?
You don't want to talk to me anymore? Your wife calling you for dinner?
I gotta use the restroom.
Future, man. future is definitely going to be a lot of tile cleaning. And I want to stick to the remodels, man, but I want to get even more niche with it, where we just, you know, we can set up a design program. We've been looking at that, have my wife on board with it. So you can do pool studio or whatever those are, and get to the point where I can show you these travertine pavers in your backyard and this turf here, and rearrange things. This is the color surface you're going with. This is your waterline tile up close, 3-dimensional, just kind of like, essentially like, do a facelift to these old school pools. There's so many, man. But do it badass. Don't do it like, hey, cool, we're going to chip it out and throw some new pebble and waterline tile in there and call it a day. Maybe a dedicated vac line. No, like unique, like Resto Mod, old school muscle cars kind of thing, where you got a badass motor, some badass wheels, but you still got power steering and all these other tricks to it. I don't know. I think that's probably my next niche that I'm going to.
I love it.
We'll see.
Always crushing souls or owning souls, or what is it?
Crushing souls, man. David Goggins.
We got to have some kind of competition. You and I got to have some kind of competition. Healthy. Something. Like
Sure.
arm wrestling or something?
Yeah, let me get back in the gym. I haven't been back in
Yeah,
like a
we got to
month.
do something, man.
Yeah.
You're just a guy I want to like.
Foot race? I don't know.
Yeah, foot race would be
Yeah.
good. Or like you got to run over there and lift the filter up over your head and ratchet it off.
What
or
if
something.
we created like a Tough Mudder of pool men?
Cool guys.
You just get fiberglass all in your neck, and you're just like, ah, shit, it's worth it for the belt, for the trophy. Oh, that'd be funny, man.
All right, man. Thanks for coming in.
Totally. Thanks, brother.